Andrew and I are sharing one candle to represent all of our grandparents who have been lost but not forgotten.
In case some of you don't know me, I'm Crystal. I am Polly. I'm too short. Hi, Crystal. Hi. I am Polly and Mark's daughter, but this week has been pretty hard for me. I've had 2 funerals this week. My boyfriend's dad passed away September 12th, day after 11. And I had that funeral, and my high school buddy passed away, so I had his funeral on Thursday. So this week is not very easy for me. And then also a family friend of mine from my dad, he just got diagnosed with cancer, and it's taking over his entire body. So I'm doing a shout out for Mr. Jackson, my friend Justin, and Greg Vendetta.
The person I remember most is my dad. And he was one of those World War II vets that helped keep us where we are today. And taught me an awful lot about being an outdoorsman. And like Jay, I grew up hunting and fishing and really appreciating nature and all the things there. I lost him about 8 years ago. And what I miss the most is just the times that we got together and had lunch and sat around and kicked around life and things like that. So he's the one I miss.
About a month ago, my second mother, Annie Omer, died at the age of 82. She was, even before I did, recognized who I was, and the first adult in my life that encouraged me to be who I am. So this is for Annie Omer.
I'm going to light a candle today for my dad's side of the family. We lost about 7 people in 6 years, including my grandparents, my dad, 2 aunts, and a cousin, all out of the same clan. And our life together as a family has really dissolved since then. And I have a lot of really good childhood memories of us being together. And so this is for that Wallet side of my family.
I'm lighting a candle for my father, Charles. He passed away 10 years ago. He taught me and all of my 5 brothers and sisters the value of hard work and joy in community and hard work.
My dad, Ralph Ingerson.
I'm going to light a candle for my mom, Susan Geeson.
I get too emotional at these things, and I could barely make it through that song. I was born way at the tail end of my family, and I never knew my grandfathers. They died before I was born, and I remember my 2 grandmothers barely. One passed away when I was 7, and one passed away when I was about 9. And my parents were very loving, very caring. Family was so important to them, and my two older sisters. My dad died in 1969, and my mother died in 2001, so I'm lighting a candle for my parents and grandparents.
My mother remarried a wonderful man when I was about 6 years old, and so I inherited his parents, and his parents lived on a farm 60 miles north of here. They're Swedish enclave up there, and for a city kid, that farm became a mecca for me in my teens and early 20s, and not only that, but many, many of my friends who followed me up there and really kept my grandparents on the farm a lot longer than they would have been there otherwise. And they were still living when I got there without plumbing, and you know, all the cooking happened on the wood stove. Even after we brought an electric range in there, she just didn't cook on it, you know. So we'd go up there and chop wood and put up fences and all that sort of thing, and she would feed us these incredible spreads on the long farm table. And I love them so much, and I miss them so much. So this is for Elmer and Ida.
My initial plan was to light a candle for my dad, who personified the farm, the heart, the earth, and just being. But I think he would be happy that I am lighting a candle instead for the son of a friend of mine, and as I watch, who was at 14 last May, decided that life was too tough. And he had a life that didn't seem no one knew. And so really for all of the young people and their families who just say, this place is too hard.
I had no idea I was going to do this. And in fact, I kept saying, don't do this. You get too emotional. But I want to light a candle for my sister. And although I've lost my father and my aunt recently, but 33 years ago when I brought my wife home, when everybody else in the family said, who knew that boy was colorblind? My sister was the one who said, I like her. And so for that, she was always with me. She always stood by us, and she loved my wife. So this is for Tessie.
Only a couple years before I found Open Circle Church, my sister Josie Donnelly died rather suddenly of a brain tumor. And she lived here in Minneapolis, and what I remember most powerfully about her, she was a huge part of my life because of her amazing passion and energy and outspokenness on social justice issues. She was a special ed teacher in a Minneapolis junior high, and she was one of those teachers, like many, that put in way more hours than she was ever paid for, and she wore her family out, including me, just because of her energy. And I have kind of mixed feelings about, if she were alive, I have absolutely no doubt she would be here with us in this church. And can you imagine another Vita here? I mean, she would have been very, very outspoken and energetic and powerful on a lot of issues that are really important to us. So I'm lighting a candle for Josie.
Excuse me. So this candle's for Justine Rieger. She passed away last month. She was my sister-in-law, and she died suddenly of stomach cancer. And what I'm so grateful for is she is my former husband's sister, and she insisted that we remain family. She taught me a lot about being a mother. She was incredibly maternal.
and we shared a lot over the phone over the last 4 or 5 years, and we both had a lot of challenges during those years, and she always found ways for us to laugh in the hard times. So this is for Justine.
I'm going to light a candle for my dad, Ed Davies, who passed away 3 years ago on October 28th.
I'm going to light 2 candles today, one for my first wife, Lindy, who many of you know and remember. And since Sandy is homesick today, I'm lighting one for her first husband, Paul.